Pernille Spiers-Lopez is our guest. She grew up corporately with IKEA and learned a lot there, and now has a company called Good Life Design. Let's talk about Good Life Design and how to design a good life. You know, there are many programs that have steps. What are the steps for this one?
Well, I have actually, when I left IKEA, I thought it was pretty easy to figure out what you want to do when you've been working for that many years. I mean, you have all the opportunities in the world. I just made only one decision, and that was to take a year off and not say yes to anything. And I thought that within a couple of months, I would know what to do. And I didn't. I kind of started then figuring out what I don't want to do. And I learned that was pretty good. But over the period of the last few years, I've actually taken all the things I've learned into, for me, 6 segments. And those 6 segments are really, number one, you got to learn how to write things down. Journaling is hugely important. And most people don't like it, but that is an important tool.
But once people do that, and I tell people this too, once they start writing their day down, you know, I met Pernille, we had this talk, I'm not sure I agree with this, but she really made me think about this or whatever. And then they read that the next day, you've learned something.
Absolutely.
So that's, journaling's a big deal.
It is, and I always, people that are...
by the way, I like everything you say, so far.
What I think is that people are really afraid of it. They're afraid somebody's going to read their journal. And I said, just think about it in terms of downloading your head and your heart. So that's number one. Number two, I have a tool of how you map sort of your current life. So you put things in like where you are with different things, your family, your work, your boss, your kids, your friends, your health. And the next step is then that so that's the second. The third one is that you really start looking at your core values. Then you develop your mission statement. And I found that with a company, most companies, they have a mission statement. They have a very clear set of values that they want the company to sort of function by and the culture to live by. And when it comes to our own personal life, most of us live our lives without having a personal mission statement and not clear.
Or a plan, really.
Or a plan. Yeah. And that's really, I'm just trying to, you know, make some of that into how, and when you have your personal mission, when you have your values, it's much easier to say yes or no to things.
It's not easier, it's more comfortable, right?
Well,
you don't have to feel guilty about saying no.
That's right. And it's also, I think one time when you are like kind of circling around wanting to make a decision and it doesn't, if you have some ways of saying, does this really fit with my values? Does this really fit with my long-term goal or does it not? Now it's a little bit easier to make some decisions.
I always tell my son, keep saying yes until someday you can say no.
Yes, yes. And what I find actually with a lot of people I coach older in life, I would say we are often spend our whole time saying yes to others and no to ourselves. And there comes a point where it actually is helpful to say yes to ourselves so we can be more for others. But I think especially as a mom, you know, you spent many years saying yes to everybody and you at some point run out of energy and you're no good to anybody. So you need to say more yes to yourself. I just want to quickly mention the following step after the mission statement is now you also got to get, as I call it, move into action and also finding a mentor. I think having a mentor in your life is just huge.
That you listen to, by the way.
That you listen to and that is there for every part of your life and can ask you questions and make you think about things. I have a mentor that I have had since I had one of my first big jobs at IKEA, and he has just been amazing to me, and we share, and we don't live close to each other, but I'm able to call him and we talk on the phone. So how to actually find a mentor that is not your best friend, it's not your boss, it's not your husband, and it really is someone that has your best interest in mind, but is not really involved in your everyday life. And so I think that these steps, I'm not saying it's easy, it is hard work, but if you want to design your best life, if it was your home, you would spend a lot of money on what you want to get out of it. You would spend a lot of money on getting expert help. You would certainly invest time and really put effort into that. So why not that with your life?
I think more and more people accept a 12-step or 4-step or 6-step or 20-step program, and when they see the design that comes out of it, they're better off. right? I mean, have you found that?
Absolutely.
But they're always the ones that, I'm not changing, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's why I wrote my book, because I wanted to kind of demystify what self-help is. I really don't think that I see my book or
There's only about 10 million self-help books out
exactly.
there.
But I think what we've tried to do is make it very practical, make it very accessible, and sort of take all that stuff out of it so that it's really just get to work. And when you do these things, things can really change for you. And what I've seen is just, it's not that we want people, or I see that people need to radical change their life. When they, often it's just looking at your life with a different lens. I always think about it as a kaleidoscope.
New pair of glasses.
It's just a new pair of glasses. And there was this woman that I've been coaching, and she was so, like, she has a great job, she has a great family, but she was just like she just couldn't understand why she had lost all the energy for things. And she realized that there was 2 or 3 things that she was missing. She had lost being an adventurous person. And in her job, she sort of had lost it too, being adventurous and asking questions or moving sort of the agenda along.
You get comfortable.
You get comfortable, and you just get wrapped up in life and kids and duties and all of that. And so it's not this really big thing that you got to sit or lay on a couch and figure out, you know, all of the things about your deep secrets. It's just get back to who you are. And I think that work, why, you know, we all go exercise. We all know that that's healthy. Being emotional healthy and really be clear on what you want with your life. I just can't imagine there's something more important than that.
And when I was writing my New York Times best-selling book, when I was stuck, I called a famous author and I said, what do I do? And he said, keep typing until it becomes a book. Mm-hmm. And that's what your life should be about, right? Keep living, keep learning until it becomes an actual life.
And you know what? Everyone has a story. You know, you wrote a book probably about your story. I've written a book about my story. But what I find is everybody has a story. And it's when you write it down, you actually are able to reflect on it. When I wrote my book, I realized that it was only when I had had true adversity, when I didn't have a job and when my business went down and I had to call somebody that had once said that if you ever need a real job, call me. It's those times when I was a failed journalist. It was when my business went down. It was when I had an anxiety attack when I was, you know, at IKEA and were taken to the hospital. It's those times that actually develop us.
Empower you.
Empower us, but also that's when I learn. It's when I learn about my own strength, and it's when I learn about, okay, this road just wasn't the right road. I got to find another one.
All right, quickly, where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want this program to be in 5 years?
I just want to have lots of hundreds and hundreds of people that are sharing stories about how they have actually taken ownership of their lives and are designing in their best way.
Pernille Spiers-Lopez, designing people's lives. I like that. That's a good profession. Congratulations. And thank you. Good luck.
Thank you for having me.